Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to present you our work on amphiphilic cyclodextrin, able to form slow-releasing drug-loaded vesicles, and a study on an in vitro model. Our goal is to propose new membrane carriers to improve the efficacy of therapeutic treatments, and we would like to propose something to cross the blood-brain barrier, which prevents a lot of drugs from penetrating the brain cells. Our drug model is an antiretroviral agent against HIV, the Ettenezavir, which is a rather good drug for model because we can follow by fluorescence measurement this drug in our experiments. Our carriers were designed from cyclodextrins and fatty alcohols. Cyclodextrins are cyclic oligosaccharides composed of 7 glucose units linked by alpha-1,4 glucosidic bond, and these compounds are already well known in pharmaceutical formulations. The fatty alcohols are of different chain lengths, from the C12 to the C18 with 2 insaturations. And we performed a synthesis with rather good yields, leading to these amphiphilic compounds in good yields for the last steps of coupling of the cyclodextrin with the lipophilic part. These compounds are obtained from raw materials, from sustainable biomass. The cyclodextrin is obtained from starch, and alcohols, fatty alcohols, are obtained from oil. And they are biodegradable and eco-compatible. First, we performed physicochemical studies by the Wilhelmy balance to obtain the critical aggregation concentration of our compounds. This data give us information about the tensioactive properties of these compounds. And we obtained CAC in the range 100 to 300 nanomolar. This is a low CAC, that is to say our compounds have a high tensioactive properties. Then we performed long-wear monolayer studies in a well here. We create a monolayer of phospholipid at the interface between air and solution, water solution, and we monitored the pressure at the interface by the Wilhelmy balance technique. After evaporation of the organic solvent used for the preparation, we obtained the initial pressure of our monolayer. Then we inject our molecule, the amphiphilic cyclodextrin, in the subphase, and we observe an increasing of the pressure, which is characteristic of the interaction of the amphiphilic molecules with the phospholipids at the monolayer. And this is an information of the membranotropic character of the compounds. 2 models were tested. The simple one is a monolayer of 1 phospholipid, the POPC, and the most complicated model is a biomimetic one with 3 phospholipids, the POPC, the SAPC, and PLPC, Sphingomyelin and cholesterol are in the second model too. This second model is biomimetic of the membrane of endothelial brain cells. The results presented here are from this complex model, and we observe the same results with the simple model too. We can observe here that depending on the initial pressure of the monolayer, we observe an increasing of pressure by addition of amphiphilic compounds, which is linear, and the cut of the line, the straight line with the x-axis, gives a value which is characteristic of the membranotropic effect of the compound. And we can see here that the C12 and the C14 compounds have high values which are very interesting. For the C16 and the C18 one, the value is around 30, and this is a classical pressure of the membrane, so it is not significant. Then we perform fusogenicity studies using two vesicles. The first one is a biomimetic vesicles composed of phospholipids, sphingomyelin, and cholesterol with a fluorescent probe, the R18, which is described here. In this vesicle, the fluorescent probes are close, and there is a quenching of the fluorescence. We prepared second vesicles using only our cyclodextrin, amphiphilic cyclodextrin, and the POPC in different percent molar. When the two are mixed, if a fusion is observed, we obtained a big vesicle with fused, which is the fusion of the two here. And in this situation, the fluorescent probes are fairer than in the small vesicles, so there is a dequenching of the fluorescence, and we observe an increasing of the fluorescence. This is the result we obtained with the C12 and the C14. You can see here that just after the mixture of the two vesicles, a very high increasing of fluorescence is observed, which is characteristic of a fusion of the vesicles. And we can see that with the C16 and C18 compounds, the fusion is low, and we can say that it is non-characteristic. As for the membranotropic effect, the C12 and C14 are interesting. We performed AEFM experiments on the effect of amphiphilic cyclodextrin on a monolayer of two phospholipids, POPC and DPPC. And we can see here that we observed furrows, very clear furrows. The size of these furrows are of the height and width of the polar head of cyclodextrin. These pictures gives an information about the way of the cyclodextrin to interact with this monolayer. The lipophilic part is anchored in the monolayer, and the cyclodextrin is just above it. When we put these amphiphilic compounds in solution, they form spontaneously aggregates of spherical spherical aggregates, as we can see here with TEM experiments with the C12 and STEM experiments with the C14. And we monitored the elementary analysis of the spherical particle we obtain, and signals characteristics of phosphorus are observed. So these spherical aggregates are formed from our cyclodextrins. We encapsulate our drug model, the tenofovir, in the nanoparticles, in the vesicles formed with the POPC and amphiphilic cyclodextrin, C12 or C14, and we perform the same measurement with the control. The slow drug release is clearly observed with the presence of the amphiphilic cyclodextrin. The vesicle of POPC alone is in violet, and the drug release of the free atazanavir is here in green. So we have a slow release of the drug from the vesicle. And finally, we performed a toxicity test on an in vitro model of BBB in collaboration with Laboratoire de la barrière hémato-encéphalique in Université d'Artois in France. 3 concentrations were tested, 1 micromolar, 5 micromolar, and 50 micromolar in Ringer-Epes buffer. And they monitored the C14 sucrose as a marker of integrity of the cells. The plate were in each well of the plate, endothelial cells are put on the filter, and a solution of buffer is put on the cells. In these 3 wells, this is the control, no solution of cyclodextrin were added. In the second well, the 1 micromolar solution of cyclodextrin is added, 5 micromolar and 50 micromolar, and all these 3 solutions were put for 30 minutes on the cells. Then the solution is kept and put in the second well for 30 minutes too, and then in a third well for 60 minutes too. Finally, the solutions are in contact with cells for 2 hours. And we observe that no toxicity was observed on the integrity of the cells with the 3 concentration and all the compounds except for the C12 at 50 micromolar. We are in the range of the control, you can see. This high concentration of C12 is not, it's too high for in vivo experiments, so we are not, it's not a problem for us, this high value. To conclude, I would say that we obtained C12 and C14 amphiphilic cyclodextrin as most effective molecules to create vesicles as nanocarriers. We prepare vesicles of safe compound. We demonstrate that new biomimetic membrane model was validated as for biophysics tests. This new biomimetic membrane model can be used in a second way after the use of the simple POPC model, which is efficient and coherent. Drug encapsulation was performed and a controlled release was observed. No toxicity was observed for this compound on our in vitro model. Before finishing, I would like to locate Amiens in France. It is 1 hour in the north of Paris, and this city is well known for its cathedral, which is illuminated like in the Middle Age at night. And I would like to thank all the people who work with me in this project, in my lab, Professor Florence Pilar, 2 PhD students, Cédric Gervais and Florian Nollet, and a postdoc, Yong Miao. Our collaborators from GEC, UTC, Laboratoire de la barrière hémato-encéphalique, and the Région Picardie for its financial support. And I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor. Any question, please?
Thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. I would like to, if you elaborate a little bit on why your amphiphilic cyclodextrin vesicles give more sustained release compared with liposomes? Any ideas?
Maybe the stability of the basic can observe in general that without adjuvants, our amphiphilic cyclodextrin are relatively stable in vesicles for a longer time than classical liposome.
So, because in liposome you can modify, manipulate the composition of liposome. You can add more cholesterol to decrease or to retard the drug release from liposomes. What is the composition of liposome you used to compare?
To compare, it was only a POPC liposome.
Without cholesterol?
Without anything else, yes.
Exactly. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other question? Thank you very much.